Members, this is Newell Augur coming to you with this week's report from Augusta for the week ending Friday, April the 13th. Very busy week at the legislature. We are still keeping very close tabs on the home-based care reimbursement piece for sections 19, 63, and 96. That is still parked at the Appropriations Committee along with a bunch of other bills, but again, I keep getting confirmation that we are at the front of the train. We have a ticket on the train, and it's just a question of when the train is going to leave the station. But there is also always the question of if a train leaves the station. I am not hearing a lot of great discussions going on about any kind of global settlement, if you were. The D's get Medicaid expansion, the R's get tax conformity, maybe with a little minimum wage thrown in. I'm getting the sense that's not going to probably happen. That's not to say there won't be some kind of a package that leaves the Appropriations Committee. There actually had some discussions this week about the 105 positions that are going to be necessary to do Medicaid expansion. So they were obviously having discussions about a supplemental budget. I don't think the R is necessarily going to go along with that 105 positions, but they're having those discussions. It's just that the broader discussion that needs to take place is not really yet coming to any fruition. 842, the reimbursement increase for the Section 40 has made its way also to the appropriations table. It got there today, so it's passed the House and the Senate, and is also sitting on the table at an increase of 70% or to 70% of the Medicare rate. So that's going to have to wait in line with a lot of other competing measures. The home-based care reimbursement obviously is at the front of the train. The Section 40 reimbursement is probably in a great big vat with a whole bunch of other folks, and we're obviously going to be asking and making sure that that gets due consideration. Some of the stuff unrelated to home-based care, the marijuana legalization bill has made its way through the House and the Senate. It made it through by veto-proof majorities in both houses. So that's significant, because if the governor does veto that measure, which everyone expects he will, it'll go back and there should be enough votes in both chambers to override it. Whether or not the governor calls in his chit on that and insists that the House Republicans back up that veto, who's to say at this point? I always think that every year the governor gets one veto that he can really say to the members of his party, look, I want you to sustain that veto. Whether or not it's the marijuana legalization bill or not, who's to say? There's another bill on marijuana coming through, which is the medical marijuana program, and actually makes a number of changes to that, which are fairly significant. It allows the dispensaries to become for-profit, and it allows the caregivers to expand to 30 plants as opposed to being limited by patient count, and allows them to hire some employees, also makes some changes with inspections with DHS, and then houses both the medical program and the adult use program under DAFs. HHS still has jurisdiction, but those two programs at least will be funneled under one department. And other than that, we're just trying to figure out when the final shoe is going to drop on the 129th legislature. They're scheduled to adjourn next Wednesday, the 18th. I doubt they're going to make that day. They're finishing up business today, and there's still quite a bit more paper that they need to move, is the common term. So they're going to probably come back next week and need to go at least to Wednesday and maybe through to the end of the week. And if there are any other final agreements that might take place, that all is going to have to be factored in as well. So you'll get an update on the 20th, and it may be the last update from Augusta, but I'm not betting on it. Thanks so much, and have a great week.